Hi students, welcome to the science class. In last class, under the session of under the chapter of body movements, we discussed about different types of the body joints. That is, different types of the joints that are nothing but pivotal joint, hinge joints, isn't it? In today's session, we are going to continue that lesson. That is, I am considering now the fixed joints. Fixed joints. Fixed joints. Okay, see here. Some joints between bones in our head are different from those we have discussed so far. Sometimes some joints between bones in our head are very different from the joints which we have discussed. The joints which are present in our head, it is totally different from the hinge joint, and also it is totally different from the pivotal joint. The bones cannot move at these joints, but the bones in the head, they are not going to move here. Such joints are called fixed joints. What is meant by the fixed joints? Why we are going to call it as a fixed joints? Because in case of the pivotal joint, in case of the hinge joints, the bones are going to move here. This is the joint, one type of the joint. In this, the bones are going to move here. So, but in the fixed joints, the bones are not going to move here. When you open your mouth wide, you can move your lower jaw away from your head, isn't it? Try to move your upper jaw. Now are you able to move it? See here. So here this is the lower jaw and the upper part, it is upper jaw. You are trying to, when you are going to stretch your mouth, when you are going to stretch your mouth, the lower jaw only be moved here, but the upper jaw, it is not moved. That is, it is a fixed, isn't it? So this such type of the joints are called as a fixed joints. Try to move your upper jaw. Now are you able to move it? There is a joint between the upper jaw and the rest of the head, which is a fixed joint. See here, there is a joint between the upper head and the lower jaw. That joint, it is called it as a fixed joint. We discussed only some of the joints that connect parts of our body. What gives the different parts of the body their different shapes? If you wanted to make a doll, what will you make first? Perhaps a framework to give the doll shape before making outer structure, isn't it? All the bones in our body also form a framework to give a shape to our body. See here, when we are going to make a doll with the help of some of the materials, what we are going to make first? We are going to make first the bones. So the bones give the outer structure to our body, and it makes the framework for our body. The human skeleton is composed of around 305 bones at a birth. See here, the human body, it is composed of 305 bones at the time of birth. At the time of birth, the human body contains 305 bones. The number of bones in the skeleton changes with age. It decreases to 206. See here, the number of bones in the skeleton, the number of the bones which are present in the skeleton, that will be decreases as the child will be, as the age of the child will be increases. As the days comes, as the age of the child goes on increases, the number of the bones in the body will be decreases. Why? Because the different types of the bones are going to be collected and become a one bone. Have you got understood? The sum of the 3 or 4 or a number of bones are going to be coagulated and makes as a single bone. Therefore, after some age, the number of bones which are present in the body, it is nothing but 206 bones. So it decreases to 206 bones by adulthood after some bones have fused together. This framework is called as a skeleton. So the number of bones which are present in our body, they give the outer structure, that is a frame to our body. This frame, it is nothing but the skeleton. How do we know that this is the shape of a human skeleton? So when you are going to see the skeleton of any animal body, or when you are going to see the skeleton which is present in the land. So how you are going to consider whether it is a skeleton of a human body or it is a skeleton of any animal body. So that will be, see here, we can have some idea about the shape of and number of bones in some parts of our body. See here, we have some idea about human body. The number of bones which are present in different parts of human body. According to that idea, we can find out that whether the skeleton which is present in the earth surface, whether the skeleton which we got in the earth surface, is it from the animal body or is it from the human body. One way we could know this shape better would be look at X-ray images of the human body. So that will be studied, that will be very easily can be identified with the help of the X-ray studies. Did you or anyone in your family ever have an X-ray of any part of your body taken? So if imagine that if the parents or if any person which is present in your family is got accidented, so at that time the doctors are going to take the X-ray report of the part of the body which is comes in accident. Why? Because to check the bones whether they are going to disturbed by the accident. So you have to take that X-ray. Sometimes when we are hurt or have an accident, doctor use these X-ray images to find out about any possible injuries that might have happened to the bones. The X-rays shows the shapes of the bones in our bodies. The X-ray, with the help of the X-ray, the doctors are going to know is there any injuries are happened to our bones inside the body, and these X-rays are very helpful in the field of medical science. Feel the bones in your forearm, upper arm and a lower leg and upper leg. Try to find out the number of bones in each part. Similarly, feel the bones of your ankle and knee joints and compare these with the X-ray images. See here, you have to count the number of bones present in your hand, palm, and also count the number of bones which are present in your legs. And you can take X-ray images of your hand and legs and you can compare with both the bones. Bend your fingers. Are you able to bend them at every joint? See here. So our finger has about 1, 2, 3. 3 joints. 1, 2, 3. The fingers have 3 joints here. At every joint we can bend here. It is the first joint, we can bend in the first joint, and second joint in the second joint, and in the third joint. Like that, at every joint the finger can be bent here. It seems to have many bones. To have many bones, isn't it? Is your wrist flexible? It is made up of several small bones called carpal. So when you are going to see your fist is also moving here, and also it seems to have a number of small bones. When you are going to see the finger it is made up of number of small bones. It is one type, it is one bone and it is one bone. Like that, the fist and the fingers are made up of number of bones, and that bones are called it as a carpals. What will happen if it has only one bone? See here, if only one bone is present in the finger, is it possible to bend it? No, it is not possible to bend. If it is not possible to bend, then it is very difficult to write, isn't it? So luckily we have 3 bones in the finger. That is why it is helpful to write, isn't it? To hold anything, isn't it? See, activity 4. Take a deep breath and hold it for little while. See, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and hold it for little while. Feel your chest bones and back bones by gently pressing the middle of the chest and back at the same time. See, when you are going to hold the oxygen in your chest, when you are going to take the long breath, so hold it back sometimes and just press your chest in front, and also you have to press in back side also, and you have to feel the structure how it is present. Feel your chest bones and the backbone by gently pressing the middle of the chest and the back of the same time. Count as many ribs, bones of the chest as possible. So, when you are going to take the deep breath, the chest ribs are going to be possible. We are going to count that chest ribs because they are going to feel, we are going to touch it by our hand. So, observe in figure 8.10 carefully and compare with that you feel the chest bones. We see that the ribs are curiously bent. They joint the chest bone and the backbone together to form a box. See here, the ribs which are present in the chest, they are going to connect with the main bone and also they makes as a box here, isn't it? They join the chest bone and the backbone together to form a box. They are going to join the chest bone and the backbone. The ribs are going to connect with this is the chest bone and the bone which is present in the back, that is called it as a backbone. Therefore they make as a box inside. This box it is called it as a rib cage because it is made by the ribs. So this box it is called it as a rib cage. There are 12 ribs on the each side of the chest. There are 12 ribs. Here 12 ribs and here 12 ribs are present. Some important internal parts of our body lie protected inside this cage. See here, this is a cage-like structure. Inside the cage, we are going to see different important parts of our body which are present inside the cage. Ask some friends to touch their toes without bending their knee. Starting from the neck, move your fingers downwards on the back of your friend. What would you feel is in the backbone? Try to touch at the back side of your leg. Is it possible to completely touch? Yes, is it completely touch? It is possible to touch. See, it is made up of many small bones called a vertebrae. So, this backbone, it is made up of small different types of the bones, that is called it as a vertebrate. The backbone consists of 33 vertebrates. The backbone consists of 33 vertebrates. The rib cage is joined to these bones and the rib cage is joined to these bones. The 33 vertebrates are present in the backbone and that all the ribs are going to be connected with these vertebrates. The backbone consists of 33 vertebrates and the rib cage is joined with these bones. If backbone was made up of only one long bone, will your friend be able to bend? If see here, we are going to see 33 types of the 33 vertebrates are present. 33 types of the bones that are called it as a vertebrates. So that's why it is very to bend backwards. If it is made up of only single bone, is it possible to bend in a front side or in a back side? No, it is very difficult to bend. Make your friend stand with both hands pressed to the wall and ask her to push the backbone the wall. Do you notice two bones of the back are prominent where the shoulders are? See here. So say to your friend to push the wall. So the shoulders which are present, these bones are going to attach with the backbone here. They are called the shoulder bones. The bones which are present here, that are called it as a shoulder bones. Observe figure 8.3 carefully. This structure is made up of pelvic bones. They enclose the portion of your body below the stomach. This is the part of you sit on. So in the figure in your textbook they are going to give here pelvic bones. The pelvic bones are present. The pelvic bones are present besides the stomach. The part which you are going to use to sit, that the bones which are present in that part are called it as a pelvic bones. The skull is made up of many bones joined together. It encloses and protects a very important part of our body, the brain and the skull. The skull is present in the head and the skull it is made up of different types of the bones and the skull protects the very important part of our body, that is brain. We discussed many bones and the joints of our skeleton. There there are some additional parts of the skeleton that are not as hard as the bones and which can be bent. These are called cartilages. And also some of the different types of the bones which are present in our body, these are very smooth and even we can going to easily bend them, and that type of the bones are called as a cartilages. That cartilages are present here at under your ear. The bones are present, then that bones are called as a cartilages. So feel your ear. Do you find any hard bone parts that can be bent? See, feel your ear. There are any hard bones that can be bent. See here, some of the bones are present in a ear, but even though we can bend very easily. So there do not seem to be any bones here, isn't it? Do you notice anything different between the earlobe and the portion above? See here, there is a lots of difference between the earlobe. This is the earlobe and this is the ear. So there is a lot of difference because it has a somewhat hard shaped structures are present inside the ear. So that are called it as a cartilaginous bones. So you do feel something in the upper parts of the ear that is not as the soft as the earlobe, but not as hard as the bone. See, you are going to feel the something different from the earlobe. Earlobe, it is very smooth, but the upper part of the ear, it is very hard because some of the different types of the bones are present in that ear. But in the earlobe, we are not going to see any types of the bones here. So some of the bones like which are present in our body that are present in the ear. So but it is very different from the other bones because they are easily bent here. So these types of the bones are called as a cartilages. We have seen that our skeleton is made up of many bones, joints and cartilages. You could feel, bend and move many of them. Draw a neat figure the skeleton in your notebook. So from this lesson we discussed about that our body is made up of different types of the bones which are present in our body, and so now you have to draw the skeleton diagram in your textbook, in your notes here. We learnt about the bones in our body and about joints that helps to move the different ways. What makes the bones move the way they do? Let us find out. See here. So with the help of the joints, it is very easy to move it is very easy to helpful to move some of the particles with the help of the joints here. But which gives the energy, which makes the bones to helpful to move the parts, any parts from one place to the other place, that will be discussed now. So in this session under the chapter of body movements, we discussed about other two types of the joints, that is a fixed joint and also some other different types of the joints, and also we discussed about some different types of the bones here. So in next session we are going to continue with what makes the bones are going to be helpful to move from one direction to the other direction. That will be discussed in the next class. Thank you.